Welcome to another week of live trading. This is for the month of November 2023. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Let's get right into it. My first trade of the week was this STNE, which gapped up on earnings and got in it long off the 1 minute breakout. It went quick, so I didn't really have the time to calculate my share size properly. So I just jumped in 1,000 shares, saying it was just a $11 stock. Found out I was way undersized. I should have gotten 2,000 shares per my risk. And it looks like the R to R wasn't all that great either, as I took half here at target 1. Then the back half, I ended up trailing off the 5 minute with the timing of the market. Then I tried shorting this ASRT as it cracked a buck for a quick scalp. Didn't get filled much. Then went after the VUSI, which continued to sell off from last week's gap down on Friday. Got in it off the 5 minute breakdown, or tried to at least. It was on an uptick, so it wasn't really filling me. And I can't make this up. Right as I got a text message is when it decided to pop the other way, filling me on all the open orders and tried to flatten my position as quick as possible, but the damage was done. Then didn't do much until the late afternoon. I came across the PGen. This was a penny stock that also stayed weak off of Friday's sell-off. Shorted it on the 50-minute base breakdown and ended up being a home run. But stupid me, I got out right before that one last bomb of a drop. But this was a buzzer beater. At least I finally caught something right before the close here, ending the day up about 5 Rs. Then Tuesday was weird because remember that VUSI from yesterday that popped against me? Well, throughout the day yesterday, a couple of hundred shares here and there would randomly pop up on my E-Trade, and I woke up to another 400 shares this morning that I didn't know about. Yeah, E-Trade's got some issues because this isn't the first time this has happened where I see random orders. But anyways, first trade here was the open, which gapped up, didn't see any news on it, but looked higher off the 1, 2, 3 on the 2 minute for a pop. Ended up trailing it right under that base off the 2 minute and broke down instead, so didn't end up making anything on it. Then went after the LICE, which gapped down on earnings, had a base breakdown on the 2 minute. It was into a lot of support, so wasn't sure how well this was going to follow through for me. It was on an uptick, so couldn't get filled much anyway. And I took it as it had a nice drop on volume into the dollar mark. Then LU had relative weakness to the China sector and sold off this morning, so I tried a short as it broke new lows for a quick scalp. And then LICE continued lower. I kept trying to get it, but it was super difficult to get filled on, so I couldn't really take advantage of it. But no worries, LU is here to the rescue as I noticed it based into the afternoon for a breakdown on the 15, and this one was definitely filling. And really nice and clean follow through here. Who doesn't love a trade when it just works without a sweat? So really mostly just focused on the LU here in the afternoon and called it a day. Wednesday, I watched the LICE from yesterday for a quick scalp, but couldn't get a single share filled. I then tried the MGOL, a penny stock that popped on earnings, but it was way too spready for my taste, so I actually ended up killing it under the bid. I did also see the TJ Maxx breakdown off the 1, but I hesitated and passed on it because I felt like nothing seemed to be following through this morning and didn't want to trade just for the sake of trading. And good pass on it because it would have failed. So took it easy this morning. No reason for me to be giving back profits from the last couple of days here when the environment isn't really great. Then I dabbled into some FFIE short off the 5 minute breakdown for a scalp, but also very hard to get filled on. So I had very little sizing. And that is me being disappointed because it ended up working really well. I also tried to tell for a scalp short off the top and didn't do anything for the afternoon. So took it real easy today. Thursday, my favorite gap down was the VLD. Originally tried to pop before breaking back down, forming a 2 minute 1, 2, 3, 4. Wasn't available on TOS, so got some on E-Trade. But something was definitely off about it because the way it was trading, couldn't get a good read on it, and I ended up killing it off this pop for a partial loss. Then the FFIE from yesterday was selling off again. So I scalped this short as it broke down, along with this FIXX. But this was another one that was tough to get filled on. I mean, these shorts have been so disappointing. I really hate this uptick rule. Then I had to step out to run some errands, so wasn't here for some of the afternoon session. But when I got back, pretty much the only thing I did was the FFIE short again, which seemed to be the only thing I can get somewhat filled on and made money on. And that was it. Another slow day. Then coming into Friday, not a lot of my top watchers set up for me except for this ZTO. The only thing I was concerned about this one was that it's an ADR, but definitely interesting gap down on earnings. Tried it off the 1, 2, 3 on the 2 minute. Looked like it was off to a good start until it didn't. Almost trailed me out to the penny, and on this drop back down, I killed half right above my entry. I really wanted to kill the whole thing and move on, but there wasn't much else out there, so I thought I'd give this one a chance to play out. and unfortunately ended up trailing out. But hey, at least I killed half for only a half an hour loss. Then CHPT was one of my top watchers that didn't set up for me at the open, but now gave a setup here as a breakdown on the 2-minute, only available on E-Trade, but it took time to locate. It would get stuck on pending for a really long time before actually going live, so I actually ended up getting some shares early in case it went without me. And of course it did exactly that, so it worked, but was way undersized. Then the rest of the day was extremely slow. All I did was test the waters on some scalps, like this Age as a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 15, but ended up being too thin, UAVS base breakdown and a few others, but nothing moved and called it a week. So up about 10 G's on the week. I thought the week started off great, but I don't know if it's because of the holidays. The second half of the week just completely slowed down, wasn't sensing much activity. The volume died down. But the important thing is to be able to recognize that and act accordingly, because I could have easily given back some of those profits from early on in the week if I just traded out of boredom, if I settled for the less quality setups. And that's what's hard about the market. The days that are great, I have to grab as much as I can. And the days that are slow, I have to protect as much as I can. So decent week of trading. Hope you enjoyed it. We are almost at the end of the year. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, I appreciate you for being here, and I hope to see you on the next one.
'Cause I'm getting lost in it. 'Cause I'm getting lost in it. And I can let go like